All right, life in France. After life in America for 65 years, with 1 year in Morocco, which was cool too, and America's cool. When you travel, you understand how awesome most people are, and some people aren't very nice in every place, and every color has pretty good people and a few people that just aren't very kind or angry or hateful, racist, greedy. But that's not most of us, and that's not most of who we are. Maybe we all have a little bit of greed and hate, and imperfections abound. Imperfections abound. And let's work on that individually and as a society. Let's, really, we like to talk about crime. Look at all this crime, usually in the poor areas, but you don't say nothing about poverty. Okay, you wouldn't want to live there. You wouldn't want to live in these shitty apartments. You wouldn't want to have no money to spend where you have to go beg for food and beg for assistance. Nobody wants to do that. But nobody wants to fight that either, or not enough of us. I was reading where who are the happy people in America right now? The rich people. The people with investments. The stock market has done great under Trump, which he's invested in, so he's done great. The rich people are doing great. So why would they want to change? And they own the media, means of production, your housing for a lot of us, transportation, energy. Why would they want to change? Hey man, I'm getting a 20% return each year. 25 sometimes. I go from 1 million to 1,200,000. That's going to make me happy. In a selfish society, that's what we're going to tell ourselves. Me. How can I get ahead? How can I, in the Constitution, when it talks about the general welfare, we don't talk about that. Was it the Mayflower Compact? The idea of common good. We need to make decisions together for the good of the community. Yeah, we don't cotton to that. We don't believe in that like we used to, I guess. Maybe we never did, I don't know. But I know we don't now. And you can go to church as much as you want. I've seen lots of people go to church Sunday morning, and then all the other hours and days, how do I get ahead? How are my investments doing? You're going to make a terrible society for people to live in and for you to live in. You're going to have to live there too. You can have a gated community or an island. You can try, or a yacht, live on your yacht. But dishonorable. Reality, humanity will see that it's a dishonorable life. We have to love each other. I think probably a requirement of that is simplicity, simplify our lives, where we don't want billions and billions or yachts or second or third homes, or we don't want way up here. We're more moderate in our desires, which will help bring the bottom up. If we don't think so much about how much we can get, we're going to have more energy to think about how to bring, as Matthew 25:35, what you do to the least of mine is what you do to me. So what you do to those the most in need on the earth is what you do to God. That's what Matthew 25:35 says. That's good teaching. That's good preaching. I'm not a Christian. I don't want to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Jew or anything. I don't want to be any of those. I just want to be me and try to learn from what I can and who I can, and get wisdom from different places, including my mom and my dad and my grandma. I shouldn't have said that, my grandpa. My grandma wasn't that friendly. My grandpa, my mom's dad, was a sweetheart. So I got wisdom from him. So this is market day for me, partly because it's Saturday. They're open Sunday, but I needed stuff today, so I went to the Victor Hugo market and got a bunch of stuff because they're closed Monday, so I can eat Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday morning. Maybe Tuesday I'll go get whatever else I need. And at this market there are some prepared foods, and those are kind of expensive. I got mashed potatoes once. I thought, man, those look good, so I got some. And when I got it, and I told the guy, I said, man, this is expensive. This is only mashed potatoes. He's like, well, so you can eat healthy, but you fix it. I've been here a month. I haven't gone to a restaurant. I make my own meals, and it's healthier, it's cheaper. I'm retired. A lot of retired people are like, what do I do? How do I fill up my life? Because it's boring, and you don't see people like you used to. And go shopping, fix your meal, wash the dishes. You're doing that every day. I'm doing that every day, except maybe shopping. And that's an important part of life. Sustenance. So what did I get for the first time? This was earlier in the week. Red cabbage, which is, everything's good for you in different ways. And they talk about the colors, get some green, get some yellow, red, purple, whatever. And I don't hardly have anything purple. So, and cabbage, you do a stir fry. I like stir fries, they're easy. Just about everything up there I put in a stir fry. I read somewhere that kiwis, one doctor was saying, if you eat one fruit, this is the fruit. I forget exactly what he said, but that made me want to eat kiwis. I've read a lot when I worked at the co-op. I can tell you some of the best things up there to eat just about every day. Ginger, garlic, broccoli, spinach, carrots. I like those spinach leaves. They're just leaves. I think they last longer. You have to know how to keep this stuff. They give it to you in these brown bags, and they don't keep in that. So I've got some plastic containers. Back in America, I had glass containers, but you need something to try to keep it fresh for 2 or 3, 4 days. There's also parsley. When I was at the co-op and I was reading in the magazine about different minerals and vitamins and nutrients, a list of 10 different vegetables. Parsley kept being in almost all the lists, and I was like, okay, I need to eat parsley. What do I have back there? Olive oil and balsamic vinegar and butter. That's what I start a stir fry with some water. Some of you guys are just people that get used to eating out. I'm just telling you, it's a good and healthy way. You'll feel better. You eat better, you feel better. And I feel better here in France. I'm walking more. I'm not drinking as much. I'm stretching more, and I'm probably eating better because what I'm eating is fresher. Everything up there is fresh, man. You pick up that green. I used to grow green peppers in my garden in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you could pick one and just eat it like an apple. It was so good. That's like that. That was probably picked this morning. I don't know, yesterday. These are small farmers. France is more simple, at least I'm in Toulouse, but I also saw these markets in Paris. It's got smaller farms, and people go to get their food. And this market I went to get the vegetables, I had to stand in line. It was like 12 people. You got to wait a while. That's the way it is. But in a way, you're not as lonely because you're not going through a self-checkout line where you don't even talk to nobody. At least here you say, bonjour. Now, if they know each other, they'll say, ça va? Like, you're doing good? But como allez-vous does me good. Tres bien, does that mean good? I think bien means good, even in Spanish. But s'il vous plaît, the basics, thank you. Merci beaucoup, mon ami, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Merci beaucoup, mes amis, my friends. Or mon frère, my brother. So this is the meat that I got. And again, I hope in the future we become better at making good products out of soybeans and other plants that don't take as much water and resources as meat does. Because with the changing climate and the droughts, I'm in France, they've had bad droughts here, all over Europe. And in the West, in the United States, same thing. So not using so much water for livestock and using it more for living, and plants don't take as much. So I got two chicken thighs, a sausage, and some type of duck meat. And she was saying, wife of a duck. So I guess the duck is the male, and canard? I forget. It was about, was it $11? Maybe $11. Not bad. The simplicity of, and they enjoy food here in France, enjoy the food, enjoy the camaraderie of talking to each other in the market, of sharing a meal together, of walking to the market. There's a lot of things I like about this place. I don't know anybody. And you can say, that's lonely. I say, yeah, that's lonely. I was lonely in Fayetteville, Arkansas, my hometown. People drive everywhere. People don't walk anywhere. So you don't see each other. Self-checkout lines. Walmart delivers food and everything else you need. Kind of almost antisocial. America is almost antisocial. Partly because we're not bad-hearted, but we're run by corporations and rich people and profit motive and hardcore capitalism. Everybody wants to say, I'm a capitalist, not a socialist. All right. Well, did you do this? Made us so unequal? Is that your capitalism? It's actually called a mixed market. Almost nowhere has straight capitalism. We have to wake up to loving each other and democracy, which requires equality. You can't be so unequal and think, where am I? You can't be so unequal and think somehow everybody's born equal. Okay, you're born, no, you're not born equal. This guy's born, his parents or her parents are billionaires, and this guy's in the ghetto. That's not equal. Everybody's born equal. That's not equal. And we need a better heart. We need a better heart. And you can act like I'm pointing at you like you're a bad person. We've made a bad society. Our greed, our promotion of greed, that has made a bad society. That's made millions and millions of people in poverty. So they'll work cheap. We like cheap prices. We've helped create this. We've helped, what's it called, self-destruction. It's our own fault. It's a democracy. But we can move forward to a better place if we use our brains as well as our hearts. My mother was really good-hearted. She wasn't very political. My dad was political. I'm glad I got those two things from them, because I need both. We need both. You need a good heart, and you need to be a good citizen. That's different, but they're interlocked. I think it was the Greeks said, if you're not a good citizen, you can't really be a good person. I kind of agree with that. When Trump and the Republicans basically wanted to cut SNAP benefits to 1 out of 8 Americans that need help having food, not really good food, just basic food to survive on. We didn't really care. Okay. No food for those people. Heartless. That's one thing that's been happening, especially with Trump in this second term. Cruelty. Heartless. Cold. Now, crypto money, billionaires, these guys are making out like gangsters, like robber barons, and we're just watching it, and we voted for it. Yeah, that's our fault. It's our fault. We can all blame Trump. Nah, it wasn't his fault. People had to elect him. That's how it happened. Even after all the bad stuff he did, the bad stuff he said. I can grab a woman. I can sexually assault a woman because I'm a star. I'm a star. You can do anything. We still voted for him. That's true immorality. I've made lots of mistakes. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm throwing stones. I'm sorry. I've made lots of mistakes. This guy was one of the biggest mistakes ever in American history, and we're having to live through it. It's sad. The masked men throwing down good people, some immigrants, some are Americans. The ICE guys, so violent, so cruel, throwing them in dungeons. And after 2 or 3 days, if they figure out, oh, he's an American, he was born here, let him out. No big deal. Doesn't matter. Blow up some boats near Venezuela. Maybe 10 guys were running drugs. Maybe 6 weren't. No big deal. We don't care. Due process, humanity. We've got some bad karma. Got some bad actions. We have to get back to the grace of simplicity and humanity, real community, real togetherness and love. Love of your neighbor and the stranger and your enemy and the earth. My God, they just had a global climate change meeting in Brazil, I think. We didn't even go. You want to know a real crime? You want to know a crime against humanity and the earth? That's it. We don't believe in climate change. There's a real crime. Lying. Not just a lie, but a lie that's affecting millions and millions of people right now and is just getting worse because we're not really slowing our burning of fossil fuels. This year will set a record that was set last year. So, yeah, I'm optimistic, but I'm realistic. I think we can go to the moon if we want, as moral and loving and compassionate and wise and caring, and we can go as high as we want, man. This heart is bigger than anything in the universe in a way. But we're not doing that right now. And we have all these challenges. We didn't create global warming. That's happened over hundreds of years, but we have to deal with it. It's our responsibility. We got freedoms, liberties, responsibilities. It's our responsibility. We didn't even go to that meeting in Brazil. Drill, drill, drill. Burn, burn, burn. Eat as much meat as you want. Hey, the glaciers are melting. The ocean is rising. The ocean currents are slowing. If they stop, and your climate changes for the worse, and the cost of everything goes up because of these storms that are corrupting infrastructure and killing so much. And then we're going to say, hey, what's happening? You know what's happening. You're not stupid. We're politically lazy. We're not very good citizens. Citizenship is a bear. Citizenship is a gigantic challenge. I was going to say burden. I don't want to call it a burden. It's a challenge. And that won't be met with greed and avarice and mammon. All, this love of money, love of material wealth. And sometimes the people that have all that money and love of money don't want anything to get in the way of that. So they'll make other people not talk about it by focusing on hate, racism, sexism, transgender, anything besides concentrated wealth, power, income, property. We have to be smarter. You can't get all your information from media that's owned by billionaires, because most billionaires don't give a shit about the truth. They're in it for the profit. I got to turn a profit. I don't care what the truth is. So we have to rise above our culture. How much violence? I'm so tired of the violence. How much violence is in our culture? All these movies, all this TV, all these shows, even the football these days, some of these hits where somebody's going to die, no doubt. And even if they don't die, they're going to get brain damage. And we don't seem to care. We've been lulled into sleep. And we've been pushed toward a love of sports, passion for your sports. But what's more important is people over here are hungry, homeless, or struggling in a slum. These SNAP benefits, a lot of the conservatives were acting like it's lazy people taking advantage of the system. I'd say it's black people. A lot of it's poor white people in the country where I'm from, Arkansas, all over the South, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. No love for the poor. How you treat the least of mine is how you treat me. You're supposed to love the poor. You're supposed to love everybody. We're supposed to rise up the poor till there isn't anymore. We can get rid of poverty. We may need some public housing, good quality public housing with green space. Yeah, we can do that. Or build or buy properties that already exist. Make them public, clean them up, keep them safe, and maybe even sell apartments to individuals. Not as like Airbnb, where they can rent them out and make money. Not like that, just for a home. Everyone needs a home. Good people. I am positive. I am optimistic. We are good people. We've helped create a bad system that's been corrupted, and we have to fight to bring it back to humanity and love and equality, a healthy democracy. We're about to be 250 years old this summer. Actually, I think it's in September, isn't it? Constitution signed, was it September 17th, 1787? Oh, so that wasn't even, we're talking about the Declaration of Independence. We weren't really free yet. We're just about to start fighting for it. But we're still fighting. I mean, people fighting for food, fighting for decent housing. Healthcare costs are gonna, yep, they're about to go up, double, triple. Now, Trump and the Republicans have said they have a plan. He's been in office before, and he had a plan then. Nothing ever, they don't have a plan. The plan is, good luck, you're on your own. That's the plan. That's not my plan. That's not the good plan. The good plan is together. The good plan is a team. The good plan is a country of humans loving each other and loving our home planet and even loving the people in other countries. Loving everybody. The stranger, your enemy, maybe even other planets. When we find life on other planets, we'll have to love them too. Get ready for that. Yeah. Love you.